Hey, what's up, nerds? It is Mason, and I am back doing a face-to-face video this time. Yowza. But anyway, back just to do a haul, show you guys the books I've been picking up as of late. Got some pretty nice stuff, pretty juicy stuff coming up. So I hope you enjoy. First, I stopped at a local antique mall, place I visit maybe once a month. And they have one pretty cool vendor, uses a glass case, and sometimes I find some stuff. Found some horror comic reprints. I got 7, 8, that's a cool cover. Number 10. This was 16. And then this is 12. But I think this one was definitely my favorite. I enjoyed the addiction story in it. It was pretty much about this kid who had a crush on a girl in high school, and he wanted to impress her by smoking marijuana, and his friends pressured him to do it. But as the story goes, the marijuana led him to a heroin addiction because he needed a better high. Marijuana's not enough because it's such a gateway drug. Anyway, not to get political, but this was probably my favorite one, and these stories are really fun to read. It's fun to find these reprints for cheap. Love the language that they use, that they used in the 50s. It's always fun and cheesy to read. Yeah, you got $2 or $3, pick them up. You're missing out on some golden good, you know what I mean? And stay tuned because, yes, those are reprints, which are nice, but I do have the real thing coming up. I'm not going to short y'all. Anyway. Another thing I found at the antique mall was Batman 244. A great Neal Adams cover. Lower grade book, but didn't have a copy, so I'd do it for $20, Gotta love the Neal. And you also gotta love the Jock. Also found that at the antique mall. Detective Comics 878. That's a Jock cover you could probably find for cover price, so yeah. And then there was a small comic show at a hotel. It wasn't, didn't find anything remarkable. But there were some pretty cool guys there, talk comics for an hour or so, and I only came away with one book, but it's one that I had wanted, for some time. Batman Annual number 25, really cool, origin of Jason Todd as Red Hood story. Kind of seems to follow the movie Batman Under the Red Hood. Really good movie. Hopefully we'll see Jason Todd in the movie sometime. He's definitely becoming one of my more favorite characters. Really like the Rebirth series that he has. Yeah, really cool Jock cover, of course. And then I watched for the first time Great Legends Auction Show. Great show. He's a great host. But I was able to score this book, Batman number 200, another Neal Adams goodie, and crossing them off one by one. But yeah, for the first time watching it, glad to have scored something. Hopefully I'll be able to catch the next one. Sometimes it's hard to be able to run into those live shows. They're usually at night, which is understandable, but I do night shifts at work, so. But, I enjoy, catching New York Warriors and all that good stuff. Those guys are hilarious. And some Walking Dead action. Had to pick up the variant to 164, that the Image Wildcats tribute. All these variants has been pretty cool, but of course that's my favorite. And then I did get the variant to 163, the 1 in 200 variant. I'm usually not big on black and white variants. Usually the color does it for me most of the time. Of course, had to pick it up. That kind of crosses both my two favorite Walking Dead characters. Cool book. That I was actually, I used my eBay books for that one, so I paid like $12 for that one. So that was a cool way to use eBay books. Thank God for eBay bucks. If you don't take advantage of that, you got to, and wait for when they have, because usually they do it like once or twice a month, the 10% eBay bucks. You can really, score some free books that way. Not to endorse eBay or anything, I'm not a paid spokesman. But anyway, And then some early Walking Dead goodness. It is number 18. Yes, finally got a copy. This was an eBay score, finally an auction that went my way. Man, I've been on the struggle with those, man. I was hoping to get from the same seller, number 11. I was fighting for that one, but it went, I think it was almost 50 bucks. And it's crazy when that happens because there's buy it nows for less than that, which, you know, I just haven't pulled the trigger on, you know. But when an auction goes for more than like buy it nows, when the condition of the book isn't really a big factor. I mean, they both looked pretty much the same, but I think that especially on eBay, some people just, you know, they just want to win, and it kind of drives me nuts sometimes. But that's the way it goes. I'm sure that maybe I've done the same thing, but yeah. Happy to have Walking Dead 18. I like this cover, and it's The Death of Thomas. And I've been fighting for a number 4, guys. You should have seen, there was an auction about a week ago. It's one of those, you missed it by $1, you know, and for the rest of the day, you're just pissed, you know. But it's cool, man. I'll get mine. Alright, now we're going to do some Deadpool. Had to show off my copy of the Joe Jusko variant. Everyone's been showing off theirs. Such a cool cover. He's been killing it on all those variants. But of course, got to get my man Deadpool. And the Deadpool ongoing series has been one of my favorites. I think that Marvel has gotten a lot of criticism for, you know, their other main heroes. But, I mean, at least in my opinion, I think the Deadpool series really keeps up. I'm reading Deadpool, Spider-Man Deadpool, which I was going to show these off too. I think, yeah, it kind of goes that way. It's kind of some connecting covers for the Till Death Do Us Part story arc. So that's been fun. We got the Deadpool 28 is part 1, and Spider-Man Deadpool number 15 is part 2. And then, yeah, what was I gonna say about that? Yeah, been a really good read, and yeah, the Deadpool ongoing has been cool. And I also still have the Punisher on my pull. But other than that, not a lot of Marvels. But for the Marvels, I have been reading. It's been pretty good. And ooh, kind of a more back issue for Deadpool that has definitely been on my want list for a while. It's the Encyclopedia Deadpoolica. And this has some higher buy it nows, you know, 40 and 50 and 60 bucks, if not more. At that comic show where I got the Batman Annual 25, the vendor had this for 50 bucks, and, you know, I'm just not with it for 50, you know. It's kind of, I was hoping to get it for 20, 25, I guess. For a while, I didn't even want to pay 20, but then I realized, like, well, in auctions, you know, I'd watch auctions, and they usually go, I saw an auction go for like 40 one time. I was like, oh, shit, maybe I'm going to have to pay. But an auction favored me to get this book on eBay. So, yada, yada. I need to pick up Baby's First Deadpool. And then, because as I said in my last video, I completed the ongoing 97 series, but needed to pick up these minis. And this was pretty cool. It has, like, behind the scenes of the first 25 issues, 20 or so, I'm not sure if it's exactly 25, of the Joe Kelly 97 run. And then it kind of shows you ideas that they threw out. So it's a cool behind the scenes book. You know, definitely one to nab if you're a big Deadpool fan. I recommend it. You know, pay 50 bucks if you want, I guess. I don't know. Alright, last two. Here comes the real good, you know, the pre-code horror, you know. Is that why you clicked on the video? I don't know. But here, first one, this is Panic #1. Such a cool, simple yet menacing cover. Definitely one to display during Christmas. Some history on this book: it was actually banned in Boston when it came out. Apparently, maybe being overly religious or something. There was a story in here it's kind of satirical to the night before Christmas, and that kind of triggered some people, and it was banned there. And it even has another story. I think it's like a parody of a book. I think the book was called My Gun Is My Jury. My gun is the jury. And like one of the main women in that book, in the parody, they made her into a transvestite or something, and that also triggered the New York City police to raid the offices of EC Comics. Yikes. Back in the day, yikes. People were, I guess, just as triggered as today, perhaps. I don't know. But the history of these books is always interesting, of course, in the pre-code era. All right, and then the Juggernaut. Very, very stoked to own a copy of this book. Really enhanced the collection, at least in the Golden Age horror aspect, of course. But yes, this is Astonishing number 30. All right, we'll just take a moment of silence, and hopefully the glare doesn't fucking ruin it. But yes, this is a Joe Maneely cover. Interesting story about Joe. I guess his death was rather tragic. I guess in the days leading up to this accident, he lost his glasses. He was riding on the train, and I guess it said he'd been drinking, and he stepped outside the car of the train for some air, and somehow he slipped and fell between the cars, and it killed him. And they also noted that when he was found, he was still clutching his portfolio, which, you know, just kind of tragic yet interesting story about Joe Maneely, this artist. Really, really great cover artist. Stan Lee was even quoted as saying, Joe Maneely to me would have been the next Jack Kirby. He could also draw anything, and I also believe that he was faster than Jack. So who knows? I guess I think he could have been, you know, one of the greats along with Jack Kirby. But rest in peace to him, and of course it's nice to have a piece of his artwork. It seems to be kind of a rare book. There's no recent sales on GPA. I think the most recent was 2015 for a 4.0. That was like about $300. This book would grade at a 3, maybe a 3.5. I was really attracted to the colors, you know, how well the colors pop on the cover, of course. But it has some heavy spine roll and just general edge wear and chipping. Probably cream off-white pages, maybe cream pages, creamed off-white. But all the pages are there, and cover is, you know, nicely attached. Centerfold has good staples, no rust. You know, pretty good for about a 63 or 4-year-old book. So yeah, speaks for itself. Very, very happy to own a copy. You know, had that tax refund burning in it, so I thought I'd treat myself. Hopefully you guys are treating yourself well. I am very, very excited to attend C2E2 at the end of next month. If anybody's going, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know. It'd be cool to meet some fellow YouTubers. I wish everyone luck on their adventures in the new season of the Comic-Cons, and hopefully you can find some treasures. Definitely been enjoying everyone's videos, and thanks a lot for watching.